All right, guys, back in the garage. We're going to be doing a back and bicep workout today. I'm only going to be using a couple different bands. It's basically two different spree bands, different resistance levels. And I'm just going to challenge myself to use, or probably get the best workout I can, hitting back and biceps using just these two bands. I know back and biceps tends to be one of the workouts that's tougher to do when you're at home and you don't have a whole lot of equipment. You know, you're thinking about dumbbells, kettlebells. If you have that stuff, it's pretty easy. But if you're only limited to bands, you have to be very resourceful, and you have to look at different angles of execution. You have to look at manipulating the bands, how far you stand from an anchor point, and the type of leverage you use from your arms. And so we're going to go over a little bit of that today, but I'm going to have this as a timer. We're looking at maybe about 15 to 20 minute workout with the band, and we're going to go back to back, keep the intensity levels up. The reason why we go back to back is because if you don't have a lot of equipment, you're utilizing that time under tension. You're utilizing that time where your heart rate's up, and you don't want to give yourself a lot of rest periods. Okay, and that way you have a way better workout. All right, we're going to try it out, and hopefully it goes out well. All right, guys, just one more thing. I'm going to be using my squat rack for different anchor points. If you don't have a squat rack, one of the things that you can do, one of the things that I carry, or a lot of these things I actually carry, are little anchor points for your door. So top of my door, I typically have one of these guys. It's called a Gym Mini or Anchor. You can get this off of Amazon. I forgot what the price is. I want to say anywhere between 15 to 25 bucks, something like that. And what it does is it anchors into the top of the door, and the band's going to hang off of this. And usually I'll put my TRX straps on it, and then it actually is pretty sturdy. Kind of hugs the door right in there at the top, and that way it won't pull off, and this guy's welded on there. It's pretty easy. Another one that I use for bottom anchors or low anchor or mid anchor is going to be just your normal door anchor. So this guy's going to kind of fit right through the door crack. This is going to be on the other end of the door. So as you're pulling, it's not going to go anywhere. And usually I'll put this either at the very bottom, or I'll put it right at the middle. If you're not working with the door, I will typically use just I think this is called a Cajun tie type of strap. So this guy, same thing. All these you can find on, let's see, Master and Muscle. You can find these all on Amazon, and I'll just wrap this around, let's say, a pole or anything, and put this around it. Here, through. And then once that's on it, you can do this. That way you can attach different bands to it, and you're good to go. And I'll probably use this guy on my squat rack. There we go. All right, guys, incline bicep curl. I'm gonna walk you guys through this. It's better to do these guys standing because you're gonna get a little bit of that core stability between the hips and the abs, having to pull the band towards you and away from your anchor point. So you're starting this with your low anchor. You're gonna have your weight on the heel of that front foot and the ball of the rear foot. And we're just gonna allow the elbows to stay back, shoulders stay back, and you're not gonna pull your elbows forward. When you do an incline bicep curl, you're isolating the biceps itself. Usually when you do a standard bicep curl, you're gonna see yourself kind of pull the bar or the band up, and then use your shoulders to help pull up the resistance. And here we're not allowed to do that. You're actually just keeping the weight or the resistance on the biceps itself when you're having the elbows stay back there like this. So it's a good way to kind of isolate the biceps, rock through it. It's gonna burn a whole lot. Yeah. All right, guys, split squat bicep curl. Here you're doing either a split squat, full-blown split squat, or a stagger step. I love pairing this movement with the first movement. You're going from one bicep curl to the other. Here we're keeping the elbows up high. You're gonna curl the arms and think about pulling the wrist towards the top of your forehead, okay? Also, you'll notice that we have our anchor point midway up on the bar. So here you could probably have this anchor point right like at the halfway point of your door, and that way you can kind of split squat into it and have the right angle pulling towards your forehead. This is gonna burn. Pushing through it, just focus on your contraction, so give me a little bit of a hold and a flex of the bicep, and then when I'm gonna extend, I'm actually gonna even extend the tricep and flex the tricep. That way I get a good contraction both ways through. All right, movement number 3, straight arm pull down. Give yourself maybe a little bit of a stagger step, or you can go into a mid squat stance just to give a little bit of stability at the hips and the low spine. I'm going to angle forward. That way when I extend my arms up, I can get more of a stretch along the lats. And when I pull down, you're going to notice I'm not going to pull straight down. I'm going to pull down and a little bit wider right there. And you want to get a little bit of a hold. Keep the triceps locked out, no bend at the elbows. We want to keep that tension. And we're going to use that leverage of that longer lever arm to get more pressure and more resistance onto the biceps. And for this one, I like to do like a 5-second count on the contraction. So I'll go 2 seconds on the hold. So if I were counting this out, it'd be 1, 2, and then maybe 1, 2, 3. And if you're doing a 60-second set, you're looking at maybe around 12 or 14 reps, somewhere in between there. All right, we got wide grip pull down. I love this setup between the first and the second exercise. The straight arm pull down, all you have to do is grab that second band. If you set it up there, we're at the high point. And again, I'm gonna take a seat on this one, or you can do this one kneeling on the floor. And I want you to lean forward. That way you still get that stretch of the lats. So here we're gonna go wide, and with that added resistance, it's really gonna burn. It's gonna burn even when you're fully extended and you think you should be resting. So this is a constant resistance with a good strong pull and hold. And same idea here. To kind of get myself through this, I'm counting it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-second reps, and 12 to 13, 12 to 14 reps completely. Alright guys, we got a single arm row. This is going to go, I'm going to double up the band, keep it at a mid anchor point, so I sit down and I have it right at that right angle. So we're going to be able to get a good strong row on this one. You're looking at about 30 seconds on one side. I'm going to supinate my wrist just a little bit, so turning my wrist upwards, that way I can get the back of the shoulders along with the lats. And same idea here, I'm going to go about maybe a 2-second hold with a 3-second extension. And if you're doing the math on this one, you're going to get maybe 6 to 7 or 8 reps before you're going to go ahead and switch. And when I do that, just real quick, right into the next set, I'm going to position my feet where I'm going to have almost even stagger step as I'm sitting down. That way I can have stability in my hips and my obliques, and I can just drive and pull with that elbow. I try to keep a lighter grip on my hands. That way I can just focus on retracting the elbow back and the shoulder back. That way I'm not kind of flexing with the wrist. And if you can learn to kind of grip with this type of style, you're going to have less opportunity to kind of burn out the forearms. Now when I do this one, the reason why I like this, it goes right into your next set. So this is your double arm row, okay? So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. I went right into just pulling this apart because I was already burning out, and I'm going to go with a lighter resistance if I go with both arms, just taking the bands apart and pulling. But I noticed really quick it was almost too light, so I had that option of grabbing that band probably about 10 seconds into this and then just continuing right there. And I wanted to just kind of burn out as much as I possibly could. This is the last set of the exercises, so it's okay to kind of just go a little overboard, just keep giving what you got. Don't save anything for the next set. Yeah, just go ahead and do what you can do and just add as much as you can and then burn out as much as you can. Because you'll even notice on this one, I go a little bit past my allocated time because I'm going to go ahead and reset it and start all over, but I'm not moving into any other reps going through that. So this next set, I'm going to turn up the music. I'm not going to comment on it, just follow along with it. And if you can, go even another set after that. So we'll go 2 more sets through this. Enjoy it. Get a full stretch, keep the elbows back, flex that bicep. Good little hold. Let's go. Seconds.